The Darfur Genocide began in 2003 in the western region of Sudan between the Fur, Masla and Zagwa minority and the Arabic majority. Both groups have been in tension since Sudan's first civil war in 1955. However, the genocide was the direct result of institutionalized Arab supremacy under President Omar al-Bashir's leadership, which resulted in several systematic eradications of African ethnic groups through both military and militia-led campaigns. However, in 2010, the genocide gradually de-escalated after a series of economic losses and power changes. The Darfur conflict opened with the systematic classification of us versus them, as the Arabic supremacist propaganda labelled non-Arab communities as rebels and slaves. Classification is evident through common Janjaweed code phrases such as "clean the area" or "this land is for Arabs." Both phrases give us insight into the ethnically biased propaganda spread amongst the military and used to impose fear and justify violence against Fur, Masla and Zagwa civilians. Coordination by the Sudanese armed forces was central to the organized execution of violence in Darfur. Satellite imagery of operational airstrips showed how the SAF prepared drone and manned aircraft bombings, targeting resistance fighters, civilian vehicles, and non-Arab villages. These were not isolated attacks, but part of a sustained, stable-backed campaign. On the ground, Janjaweed fighters traveled in convoys or turret-mounted pickup trucks armed with Soviet-era rifles. The image of these convoys reflects a structured, well-equipped force. This level of military planning and resources by the SAF clearly aligns with the preparation stage of the genocide. After the executive order was given in early 2003, the Janjaweed displayed clear signs of extermination after they launched coordinated land raids on villages, employing arson, pillage, rape, and mass shootings to terrorize and forcibly displace African civilians. Simultaneously, the SAF dropped fragment and fuel air bombs on suspected rebel positions, but often struck non-combatant settlements, resulting in the indiscriminate killing of over 300,000 and the wholesale destruction of infrastructure. In 1948, the Genocide Convention defined as any of 5 acts committed with the intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnic, racial or religious group. The actions of the Sudanese military and Janjaweed clearly meet the Convention's criteria for deliberately inflicting on the group conditions of life calculated to bring about its physical destruction in whole or in part, demonstrating how state-sponsored extermination in Darfur fits within the legal framework of genocide. This brutal conflict didn't de-escalate without leaving immediate scars on the country and its people. As a direct result of the genocide, more than 300,000 died and nearly half of the population forcibly displaced. This mass movement overcrowded eastern Chad, straining infrastructure and resources as seen in this dot plot. Simultaneously, tribal cultures were displaced and families torn apart. Sudan's funding and support of the Janjaweed militias also diverted crucial government resources away from healthcare, education and infrastructure. While exact figures are unknown, the cost of supplying weapons, vehicles, and logistical support placed a heavy financial strain on the national budget and further deepened poverty. Overall, the genocide in Darfur left lasting humanitarian, cultural, and economic wounds that were immediately felt throughout the region. The Darfur genocide's impact can still be observed within today's Sudanese society. For example, Sudan's economy experienced its worst crash in 2011. This was due to international trade sanctions as well as nationwide debt due to military and militia costs. The source reveals a recorded decline of exports after the US, UK and UN established their sanctions. In Sudan, political instability endures despite the arrest and removal of Omar al-Bashir. Similar assault and arson methods are still used by the Rapid Support Forces, the Janjaweed successors, to persecute the Muslim. Long-term land loss, violence, and displacement shows the genocide's impact is still rooted in Sudan's society. The Darfur Genocide cannot be denied as a deliberate state-driven campaign of ethnic violence that meets a legal definition under international law. Its legacy of displacement, instability, and cultural destruction continues to shape Sudan today, long after the violence officially ended.